Small disclaimer before the beginning of the video. If you have not seen Freaky Friday 2018, please go watch it first, as there are spoilers within this video. Even though the movie is generally the same as all the other Freaky Fridays, there are things that are different. So if you don't want those to be spoiled, please go watch the movie first.
Also, my hair looks a lot different. So, there's that.
Hi guys, it's me. So today, as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be doing a movie review on Freaky Friday 2018. Let's get started. Now, everybody knows the typical story of Freaky Friday. It's a mother-daughter don't get along, and then they end up switching, and then have this whole huge understanding and end up telling each other that they love each other at the end. Big happy ending. Yes, and that did not change in this version. Now, I will say that I loved this version. I've watched it many times since I watched it the first time. I tried to do a review video after I watched it the first time, but I just dragged on for so long that I just wanted to redo it. So I hope that doesn't make this biased, because I do love this movie. Don't worry, I will talk about what I don't like about this movie, but I will also talk about what I do like. I've watched it like 10 times over the week and a half since I've seen it the first time, which is literally every single day could be accounted for how many times that I've watched it. And I did not watch it every day in this week and a half. I have watched it more than once on multiple occasions. So let's get started on the characters we have in this one. So we have Ellie Blake and we have Catherine Blake. Now, obviously, you can tell that Ellie Blake is the daughter, Catherine Blake is the mother. And they are played by Ellie. Ellie is played by Cozy Zulzeldorf. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Cozy, if you end up somehow watching this, I'm sorry. And then we have Catherine, played by Heidi Blankenstaff, which I may have also just butchered. So if Heidi, if you end up watching this, I'm sorry as well. Together, this duo, Heidi and Cozy, they're amazing. Their chemistry together as a mother and daughter, even when they're switched, phenomenal. Like you could almost see if they were actually mother and daughter just on screen together and happened to get the same job. And Cozy as Ellie and the mother is very, very convincing. She's very good at differentiating herself between being the teenager and being her mother. And she, at some points, I even saw her like sort of mimicking Heidi in a way when she was playing as the mom in Ellie's body. I don't know if she knew that she was doing that, but I saw it at least once. There was like, oh, that kind of seems like something that Heidi would have done. Like that's cool to see. Heidi as Catherine / Ellie, I think she did a great job. Definitely differentiating herself between being Catherine and being Ellie. Now, I think at some points when she was Ellie, she may have been a tiny bit too childish and not at like a teenager age or acting in a teenager age. However, there were certain points that she did have a sense of maturity about her, but it was an innocent maturity, so it did seem like a teenager. I think on both fronts they did decent jobs in this movie. I will say that Cozy definitely stood out. They both have amazing singing voices. They couldn't be compared to each other in that respect. They both have amazing voices, and their harmonies together sounded beautiful as well when they would sing together. Now, let's get to really what I don't like about this movie. This is like the number one. Now, I know I said a little bit about Heidi's acting, and that didn't really bother me enough to ruin the movie for me. Now, this didn't really ruin the movie for me either, but it's something that I really wish would have been a thing. We don't get a lot of time with them being themselves. We literally get like the opening number and then like a little reprise of that opening number, sort of, and then they're switched. Like, that's within probably the first 10 minutes of the movie. They're already switched. That I feel like that's not a lot of time to get to know them as themselves before we see them in one another's bodies, because then we have to learn about them through being in each other's bodies. I mean, obviously we get them back at the end, but that still isn't a lot of time at the end that we see them either as themselves. So that's one thing I really wish. I wish we would see them as themselves a little bit more. That is my big complaint. Now, let's get on to some controversial things that people don't like about this movie. Now, there's a song in this movie called Oh Biology. Now, this song comes in at the moment where Catherine and Ellie's body goes to her school. She's experiencing hormones from seeing cute boys, including the one that is Ellie's love interest that Ellie is interested in. Actual Ellie is interested in. And a lot of people think that this song is about Ellie's mom, or about Catherine having a crush on Ellie's crush. Now, I don't see it that way. I see it as Catherine is explaining the feelings that she's feeling because of seeing this boy, not saying that she has feelings for this boy. She is talking about what her body is feeling, what the teenage hormones are doing to her, and that like they're getting out of control and she doesn't know what to do about it. That is what I see the song as. I don't see it as Catherine saying that she has a crush on this boy. Now, a lot of people don't like that argument, only one, because it's Catherine, not Ellie, so how is she not able to control it? But she's in her daughter's body. Her daughter's body is still going to have those same chemical reactions. But also, people don't like it because you also see when Ellie is in Catherine's body and like is around her fiance or Catherine's fiance, she has the ability to say, no, I'm not, like, stop. And people are like, okay, if Ellie in Catherine's body can say no, why can't Catherine in Ellie's body say no? And I get that. I get that argument. But I still, and that's just, I guess, how I'm going to see it. I just see it as Catherine is expressing the hormones she's feeling, not the feelings that she's feeling for this specific person. There's another thing that people don't like. The hunt. The hunt is the scavenger hunt that the high school does like once a year. Now, the hunt is something that Ellie wants to do on her mother's rehearsal dinner night. A lot of people don't like this because they think it's not a good reason to want to like skip your mother's rehearsal dinner, because in the 2003 version, Lindsay Lohan has like this musical tryout thing for her band, or like this show for her band that's like, and people are like, oh, that's super important, like that's a legit reason to want to miss like your mother's dinner or whatever was happened to be happening in that version. But I also want to contradict that by saying that the hunt is a much more realistic thing for a teenager to ask to do. You don't see realistically a lot of teenagers being in a band, let alone having a show like that they need to go to. And so I just think the hunt is way more realistic for Ellie to want to go do. Is it logical to want to go to do something like that on your mother's rehearsal night? No, but I think it's realistic. But those are like the controversial things that I saw people talking about. So things that they did differently that I liked, they used an hourglass instead of like the fortune at like the Chinese restaurant to make them switch, which I kind of like. And I especially like that it was from Ellie's dad. And somebody brought up this in another review that I watched, because I watched a couple of reviews, that they would have liked to see like the dad pop in like as a ghost or something, saying like, hey, I'm doing this because you two need to figure out whatever is happening between the two of you, and that's why I'm making this happen. Which I would have liked to have seen that. That would have been something cool to like be experimented with or something. But I still think the sentimental version, or not version, but like the sentimentality of the hourglass was really nice, and I liked that a lot. It's a little less weird than having a fortune at a Chinese restaurant be the reason that you switched. Music. Let's move on to the music. So I really, really loved the music in this. I was really kind of surprised that it didn't do, or I really don't know how it did, but I assume it did okay. I was just like, as a theater production, but I'm actually kind of surprised because I really liked the music, that it didn't do better, or that like word of mouth didn't make it do better because of the music. I think the music is great. Like I said, Oh Biology is probably like my favorite song. It also might be Go, which Go is the song that happens during the hunt, which is just like a really inspirational song. It's like, keep going, like wish what you want to wish, and the journey is what's important, because like wishes don't happen after you've won. It's the wishing, not the winning. That's a line. Go where you never thought you'd go, like that kind of thing. That's also a line. We have I Got This. That is the song right after the opening number, after they've switched, where they've finally talked out like, we have to go and be each other for the day, and they're like, I got this. And then we have Just One Day, which is the opening number, which is the one that is them as themselves, which I love. It really is, it's a extremely relatable song. You see Ellie talk about how she just wants her mom off her back. She wants just like 12 hours to live her life her own way. And then we see Catherine's side of things, like all she wants is her family united. She wants joy for her daughter, but she doesn't know what to do, which is a whole another thing I could talk about, because we obviously see how Catherine has not ever talked to Ellie about her father's passing, and Ellie clearly has underlying issues because of that, but that's besides the point. So overall, I think the music is really well written, really relatable. It is just really super catchy, and it's just really fun. It's a good old Disney Channel movie. You can never go wrong with a Disney Channel movie most of the time. I don't think there has been one that I've not liked. I think that about sums it up. I highly recommend this movie. I think it's like a 10 out of 10 Disney Channel movie. Like, I really love this movie, and the acting is really great. We just get to see a lot of fresh faces. I mean, Heidi, like I said, Broadway actor, people know her from that. Cozy was in both of the Dolphin Tales, so she's not completely a fresh face. And she also guest starred on a lot of Disney things as well. But that's what she's from. But the side characters, we get a lot of fresh faces. Like Ricky He plays Adam, who's Ellie's love interest. And then we have Dara. I'm sorry, I don't remember her last name. But She plays Savannah. She is also now, and it might be because of this, in High School Musical the Musical, the series, which I could also make a video about if you want, because I watched it and it was good. But she's really great in this as well, and they've also said in a bunch of interviews I've watched with all of them that she is like the least like her character. Like, this was out of her comfort zone a little bit for her. She doesn't play the mean girl. Savannah's the mean girl in this. But yeah, so watch this movie. I highly recommend it. Even if you've seen the 2003 version and you love it, just give this one a chance. I personally don't like to think of it as a remake because I think it's sort of a different way that they're experimenting with this Freaky Friday story, which everybody knows that story. It's the same story over and over, but it's different. I just think it's fresh and it's new and it's good. So, if you guys liked this review, give it a like down below and don't forget to subscribe. And if you guys want me to keep doing this, comment down below and then say what other movies you guys want me to experience for the first time or talk about. Even if you can safely assume that I've seen the movie, put it down there and maybe I'll rewatch it and then I'll make a video about it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be Disney movies either. I was just one day looking at Disney Plus and it happened to be there, and that's how I got on this. And I also watched Zombies as well that day. So if you guys want me to make a video on Disney's Zombies, I can do that too. I might have to watch it again though, because I only watched it once, but I don't quite remember everything and I want to give a good review. So let me know, guys, and comment down below what you guys want to see next. If you guys have any suggestions for other videos, obviously put those down there as well. But yeah, put some more recommendations down there. I'd love to, even if I don't make another one of these, I'd love to see what you guys are into movie wise. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.